I'm Dr. Thomas Longwell, Director of the Counseling Center at the University of Southern Indiana. College is a time for learning and self-discovery. However, even the brightest and most psychologically healthy individuals can struggle during times of stress. Today I'm going to go through 6 steps designed to help you not only survive, but thrive during difficult situations. I hope you'll find the information useful, and you may also go to the Counseling Center website to download our Coping with Difficult Situations Guide for information that corresponds with today's presentation. So step 1, remember, distress, no matter how difficult, no matter how challenging, is time limited. To prove this to yourself, think about the last time when you were under a high degree of distress. At that time, you likely felt that the situation would never end. You likely felt that you would never be okay again. And yet, somehow you did survive. Somehow you made it through. Maybe you don't know how, maybe you don't know why, but you did. So far you've survived 100% of your rough days. So the next time you're dealing with a difficult situation, ask yourself in the moment, this extreme distress that I'm feeling, and it's okay to experience that distress, but the extreme distress that I'm feeling, how long is that likely to last? Try to put a concrete number on it. Is it 3-4 days? Maybe a week? How long will that last before it turns into more of a dull ache? And then how long will that dull ache last? Again, put a number on it. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month? How long will that dull ache last before it turns into more of a memory and you return to a sense of normal? Step 2, try to keep the situation in perspective. To do this, I recommend getting out 2 sheets of paper. On the first sheet of paper, we're going to make a continuum of negative events. On one end, we're going to put down something that is relatively mild and time limited, such as stubbing your toe. On the other side, we're going to put something that is very difficult to cope with and is time expansive, or doesn't have a quick or easy end, such as the loss of a family member. Along the rest of the continuum, place a variety of other events, such as failing a test, losing a cherished pet, or maybe even receiving a major medical diagnosis. An example will appear on your screen now. Once you have that continuum completed, put it to the side and get out another sheet of paper. On that sheet of paper, ask yourself the following questions. First, despite the situation, for what am I still grateful? Despite the situation, what's still good about me as a person and good about my life? Despite this, what will I still accomplish in life? Will I still get a nice career, have a nice house with a white picket fence and a dog, or whatever are my dreams? What are the positive experiences I will still have, and what will still help me to feel fulfilled in this life? Additionally, ask yourself, how long before I find that new sense of normal? And in the long run, how will this help me to grow? Once you have all of those answered, grab your first sheet of paper and place the situation on the continuum. When you put your mark on the continuum, you'll often find that if you keep those answers in mind, your situation is not nearly as high as you originally expected. Step 3. Try to keep your thoughts balanced and truthful. In response to difficult situations, we're likely to be our own worst critic. We're likely to tell ourselves that we're not going to be okay, that we can't make it through it, and we should feel really guilty about our choices and our behavior. In response to this, think about how you might react to your best friend in this situation. We wouldn't tell them those same hurtful and mean things. Instead, we tell them, you're going to make it through this. I believe in you and you're going to be okay. If those things are true for your best friend, they're also true for you. Also ask yourself, what's a more positive, optimistic, and hopeful way to view the situation? Or how can I view this situation and or myself with kindness and compassion? Step 4. Focus less on the situation and more on problem solving. When confronted with a difficulty or challenge, we're likely to engage in excessive rumination. This means we're focusing on the situation to the exclusion of all other things. To counteract this, grab a sheet of paper and engage in problem solving. And it's best to do this on paper versus just in your head. When problem solving, first brainstorm a list of possible solutions. When brainstorming, we don't analyze the pros or cons, we just simply list all the possible options. Once we have all the options, then engage in an analysis of the pros and cons, and finally make a decision. You may not come up with a great decision. You may have to select amongst the best of the worst options even, but at least you can rest assured that you've done everything you can in this situation. Make sure you also include acceptance as an option. Acceptance doesn't mean that you're okay with the situation, it just simply means you're choosing to remove the situation's power over your life. Step 5. Remember, you are more than this one situation. In response to those difficult situations, not only are we likely to ruminate, but we're likely to let the situation take over our lives. Instead, try to keep a sense of normalcy about your life. Do the things that help you to feel normal and in control, such as making a nice dinner, going for a walk, playing games, or do other things that you normally enjoy in life. As much as possible, stick to your normal routine and take care of yourself physically. This means eating right, getting good sleep, exercise, and limiting your use of substances. It's all about balance, so make sure you do the things that help you to feel normal. And finally, step 6. Seek help from family, friends, and counselors. One of the worst things we can do in any situation is keep our thoughts, feelings, and emotions all bottled up. While it might be scary to seek out support, it's called a support network for a reason. When we share our thoughts, feelings, and emotions, 1, it helps to get them out. 2, it can give us a new sense of perspective. And 3, it can help us develop new options and cope in ways we never would have expected. I hope you have found today's presentation useful. Please go to our Counseling Center website and download our Coping with Difficult Situations guide, and come into the Counseling Center and schedule an appointment if we can be of further assistance.